Today on Suncoast View, a walk on the beach could mean you're trespassing. We'll talk about new laws going into effect that will affect our shoreline.
The landmark court case Roe versus Wade comes to Oslo Rep as we learn more about the women behind the original abortion debate.
We all have inner glam, and they have fashion designers here to help us find ours with a fashion show. All that more right now on Suncoast View.
Welcome to the show, and welcome back to Nikki Logan Curran. Great to have you with us.
Happy Wine Fest week.
Well, I was going to say, we love it when you're here, just because you're you, but it doesn't hurt when you come bearing lots of bottles of wine.
Yes.
One each.
Yes, exactly, one each.
Don't drink
we
the whole
know
thing.
This is your favorite stuff.
Yes, I do. I'm a big Han wine fan. Tell us about Wine Fest and all the many different things that are coming up this weekend.
So this is a crazy weekend of delicious food and amazing wines. And so it started today at the Van Wezel. We had the big trade tasting, so there was about 400 people there that are in the industry. They're either buyers, they're restaurateurs, or in some sort of position to accumulate all this amazing wine.
Just big fans.
Yeah. So tonight is an event that we're having out at the Outboard Club, a new event, which is seated in under the big banyan tree. It's right next to Moat Marine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then tomorrow is picnic, or excuse me, Friday's picnic, which is at the Van Wezel, and then Friday night banquet on the block. Saturday's the big grand tasting, which you can go online to get the times and the schedule, but you can purchase tickets at the door.
Oh, great.
So no more online purchases, but just show up and enjoy the breeze and all the yummy wine.
I love it.
Absolutely.
And then Sunday wine on the water.
Oh, wow.
No matter where you fall, there's an event for every single person.
As formal as you want it to be, as casual as you want it to be, it is a wonderful way to celebrate all the great food and wine here on the Suncoast. So go to floridawinefest.org for information about all the different events.
Yes.
And
We
cheers.
should
We're starting with some bubbles.
Yes, we should.
Yes, it's almost Friday.
It is, that's right. And hey, it's ABC. Thank goodness it's Thursday is one of our big new monikers. So we're going to own that. We'll celebrate it here as well. All right, well, also celebrating in the kitchen today, we welcome back Chef Gerard from the Seafood Shack.
Hi, Harry.
Great to have you with us. What are we making today?
We were making some Asian-style pickled seafoods.
Pickled seafood.
Pickled seafood. Okay, that's
different.
interesting. Yes, tell us how pickling seafood is becoming. I know pickling in general is popular. How did seafood get involved?
Well, it's just taking the seafood in its natural state and really bringing it to the top. You know, just having that acid in there just really brings out the natural flavor in the seafood.
Interesting. We are going to learn something new today. All right. Well, we look forward to learning more about that. It is time for our first hot topic, and this is a big one here on the Suncoast. A walk on the beach could soon mean you are trespassing. A new state law signed by Governor Rick Scott enforces homeowners' rights to kick people off their part of the beach. Now, most property deeds say that homeowners actually own the beach right up to the shoreline. The new state law reinforces property owner control on what is seen as their land, and if they don't want you there, walking or sitting, they can kick you off. So to be safe, walk or sit where the sand is wet, because they do not own the Gulf. This is
When the
interesting.
tide is higher, does that affect you get less land?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
so
really
where the tide goes to at high tide is the
Wow.
end of their property.
Wow.
So if
You could walk along the shoreline
You
where
can.
the wake is,
You
and
can.
that's totally fine.
Yes.
but it's illegal higher up, which it will be as of July 1.
I think this is a shame. I think the
too.
public has a right to go to the beach, and you don't go onto that person's property. But I have a friend who lives down there, and she said, well, people walk through my yard, go to the bathroom in my yard, and then head out to the beach. And I said, hey, I might walk through your yard, but I certainly wouldn't do this other.
I would think that, a lot of people put up a bush line or something like that on the back of their home.
But then it obstructs their view.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I guess my thing is, like, if I'm not a beachfront homeowner, I would certainly love to be, and I would love to not have people wandering around my front yard. But we have sidewalks. That's already, like, there's already
Yeah.
people walking in front of your house. It's not like all of us that pay taxes and our homeowners have this, privacy fence all the way around us. You can walk in front of anyone's house. So just because you live on the beach,
I mean, I'm a fan of keeping everything open to the public because I don't own
Because we're the
anything.
public.
Yeah, I mean,
We're the public.
and I've seen how sometimes when you take a bayfront and you put private property, you really shut off the city.
Right.
I think sometimes our area, Sarasota, can be like that. But on the flip side, these laws must be in place because they were broken, or you
Right.
know,
People
the rules.
aren't respectful.
Somebody came and set up an umbrella and a chair and a cooler and in your backyard, and
the
so now
grass.
this law has to happen. So I hate that this has to happen.
I
We
do
have
too.
plenty of beach space, though.
We do. We're
I mean,
very
it's
lucky.
not like we're neglected on places to walk the shoreline. I mean, you
is
can
true.
walk a mile easily on Siesta and Lido.
That
Yeah,
isn't
from the main
home-owned.
beach.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
very true.
And beaches in Bradenton and in Venice.
And
so that
same
is
with
true.
Lido, if you think about it, because the hotel property is not going to tell you you can't walk on the shoreline
Right.
Yeah.
in front of it because you could be a
But
guest
you
or
won't
whatever.
have a place to park.
So it would be
Yeah.
areas.
Good
It would
point.
be areas that this law affects where there are not public access available.
Right.
That's where
Home
it's a
owners.
And
challenge.
those are some of the most beautiful spots.
Yeah.
And they pay for it, though.
And they- I was
I mean,
about
there's
to say,
definitely,
it's
and they
very
own it. Yeah, I know. I'm sad, too.
But some things, that's up to the state. Some things you shouldn't be able to own.
Yeah.
Right.
That's an
Well,
option.
the state says they
Or
own
just
it.
keep
so-
dumping water so you can walk.
That would be a fun argument. So Governor Scott is also being told by a federal judge to make it easier for convicted felons to get their right to vote back. The process is notoriously slow in Florida, even after a felon has served time for the crime. In 2011, Scott and the legislature passed some tough laws against felon voter rights. Now a federal judge says the governor has until the end of April to redo the process. Just yesterday, Governor Scott is appealing the judge's order.
We talked about this on this show like a year ago, I think.
Yes.
I remember.
And we didn't solve it. Isn't that
Why
a
don't they listen to us?
surprising
No, I'm
thing?
just kidding. If you serve your time, then why are you penalizing people? I mean, trust me, I'm sure I've seen both sides of the story, but what's the point of serving a sentence if you're still going to have all of this hanging over you? Now, I understand, pedophile rules and all of that,
Sure.
sexual offenders and all of that, but you served your time and you are now back in society.
Say for a drug felony,
Right.
you did your years.
It does
Yeah.
keep people from being fully back into society, which is part of the problem, I
Right.
think. And then
We
they
keep
go back
suppressing them.
into, they
Right.
stay in that system.
They have no place to go,
Yeah.
so they
Right.
go backwards.
Sure, I agree with you that there should be certain, you have to draw the line on some crimes. You don't get all of your voting rights back because,
Right.
you've
Yeah.
crossed a line.
Right, and that is in the statute. Is it politically motivated? I mean, I'm struggling to
Felons have
understand.
a political. Do they have people that are in?
I don't know.
Going around motivating people to
Well,
vote
there
for
are,
them?
there are those conspiracy theories out there that there are certain laws to keep certain people
suppression.
from
Correct.
voting, and,
Correct.
and you could argue that this is another step in that. We're not going to solve it.
We're not
today,
going to
but
solve it, but I'm interested that it has become
Yeah.
such an ordeal.
I am too.
I don't.
Think about if
you
you have
know.
a child, if you have a teenager who then, they become 18, they commit a crime, they serve their time in prison,
Right.
and then they get out and they aren't able to vote for the rest of their adult life. When
Right.
you think about that scenario, it's different.
It doesn't seem
Right.
okay,
Yeah.
that's for sure. All right, well, this one is for Linda. A superhero gets a big honor in Hollywood. Wonder Woman actress Linda Carter, honored with the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The 66-year-old debuted the role in 1976. She's viewed as the forerunner to all the female empowerment heroines. And the character, of course, enjoying a big screen revival. Linda, you got your star.
Everybody confuses me with her. Linda Carson, Linda Carter. And I say, well, it must be the body.
You're the original Wonder Woman, Linda.
Yes.
Come on.
Oh, I love it that they'll say, Linda Carter. I watch you all the time. And I say, no, it's Carson.
You just have to spin
I
around
can't
quickly.
spin
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
fast. But
I thought it was
for
interesting
her.
when they pointed out that Wonder Woman really sort of kicked off female heroines. Because if you think back, I can't really think of anyone.
Maybe like Catwoman in comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But she was still
big
just
screen.
being super sexy and
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kinda
Wonder
doing
Woman
some-
had powers.
right.
yes.
Yeah, because
she had a
Catwoman was
lasso.
kind of, a villain or like a spin-off kind of a Batman, right? But Wonder Woman was her own. She
Right.
was the
Yes,
franchise.
and
Exactly.
she was the
For herself.
Superman of the female gender.
I mean, I know that the current movie has empowered, young girls now. Did the original Wonder Woman empower?
Absolutely. I have her statue on my desk,
Yeah.
you might notice.
Well, and I had a Superwoman cape. I mean, I would have been a young elementary schooler in the mid to late 70s. So to me, I don't remember seeing the movie, honestly, but I remember knowing who she was and wanting a cape. So I could be Wonder Woman.
Oh, I watched her all the time.
I mean, I did too. Who am I kidding? I did used to turn around in my room, but good for her for
In a
getting a
cape?
star. Yeah, if I had one. I want that lasso of truth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He'd like that around here.
That might change your life.
All right, well, the strangest little life things get discussed on Twitter, and that's one of the reasons we like it, like which way should toilet paper unroll, and do you use a top sheet? We thought this was a no-brainer, but apparently not. Who doesn't use a top sheet? Millennials. A single tweet has erupted into controversy. So the top sheet, in case you don't know, is supposed to lie between the comforter and the bottom sheet. It keeps the comforter from getting dirty from your skin, and it helps control the temperature of the bed. Millennials apparently, and Nikki we're learning, can't be bothered calling top sheets archaic. Nikki, you do not use a top sheet.
Okay, I know when we talked, I think it was Valentine's Day, we were talking about this whole bed situation. So I have like the beds that have the drawers underneath. So I have a big fluffy blanket that I sleep with.
Right.
David is in under the proper top sheet and the comforter.
So you lay on top of a top sheet?
I lay on top of the fitted sheet with my own Snuggie blanket.
But then you have to wash it every week.
Every week.
And you're okay with that? Doesn't bother you to wash the Snuggie blanket?
Wow.
Okay.
He's a blanket stealer. I can't be a part of that.
So you've just given up.
Yes. So we visit and then bye. I have my own blanket.
We did an unofficial survey, like poll in the station, and overwhelmingly the millennials that work here almost feel like it was absurd, the idea that they
think
would
we're
have
crazy
one.
having a top sheet. Under the age of 30 apparently does not use top sheets.
I just want to know how often they wash that comforter. That bothers me.
Well, some of them use duvets, and they said they do wash those.
But that's even more
frequently.
work.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Zoe doesn't use a top sheet, my daughter. She's 18. So it always ends up somewhere else.
And
So
is her reason because she can't be bothered? Because that's my daughter's reason.
Yes, but it's so awful putting the duvet on every week. It's like I have to like zen out and like get a mimosa to like gear up the.
Well, what do they do if they get warm? The top sheet is what cools you down. What
They
do
just
do?
lay there
throw
exposed.
a leg out.
Yeah.
They're missing out.
I know.
We also wondered when they buy a sheet set, what do they do with that extra sheet?
Somebody said that they have a closet full of extra top sheets, and I thought, at that point, why would you not use them?
We should swap.
I know.
They probably tuck it under the mattress, and then they get to ride 2 sheets and without washing every other week.
I did ask if they knew how to make hospital corners, and then they looked at me like I was 800 years old. So
I love that.
Wow.
I don't know. It's interesting. Twitter was interested. We're interested.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess top sheets are
I'm
going by the
worried
wayside.
now.
I'm not a millennial. I just don't like
You're
my
just
blankets
cool.
being stolen.
Nothing is real anymore, Linda. I don't know what's true.
Oh, I don't know.
We'll talk toilet paper next
breaks
week.
in, and there you are without a top sheet.
A duvet, that's too much.
We didn't ask about pajamas because I don't really want to know.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Toasted Mango Cafe in Sarasota is getting some national recognition. The Food Network has found it, and they say that they have the best waffle in the state of Florida.
Oh, my.
It has beach flair. It is served with cubes of ripe mango, toasted coconut, appropriately, and whipped cream. And get this, it is pressed for exactly 3 minutes.
That's Zoe's top 5 favorite meals of her entire life.
Oh,
Is that waffle?
That waffle. I'm not a waffle fan, but I'm a fan of their tyra. They're like
well, just eat
veggie
the
tyra.
top.
Yes, it is amazing.
And their oatmeal is
Yeah.
amazing.
I'm so glad that they're getting this national recognition.
They deserve it.
Yes,
They
one
do
of my
deserve
favorite
it.
breakfast
and
places.
there's a new place on South Siesta down by the bridge. They've opened a second location, which I did not know.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Well, they're going to be actually in our kitchen next week. They're going to be,
good.
yes, they're going to
Good.
be making that very waffle.
Well, good, because I have not tried it.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
we'll
I
get
can't
there.
wait.
Congratulations to them. Okay, we're going to check in with our happy hour forecast. And when we come back, we're going to hear the story of Oslo Reps Row.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with your first alert weather update. A beautiful afternoon, a little bit on the cooler start this morning, just a few degrees cooler than it has been. That's a result of a cold front, but temperatures still managed to get above average this afternoon. It didn't feel as warm, though, as the dew point temperatures have really dropped. Yesterday, dew points were around 70. Here now, 54 at the Sarasota Braden Airport. And that's a direct result of that front, which has brought in some drier air. Look at those dew points up in the Panhandle, 33 in Tallahassee. That front now well down to our south through the northern Bahamas and over South Florida, bringing some rainfall there. No rain with that front for us, though. Things are staying dry here at least through Friday, but Saturday a different story. We're going to have the forecast on another front, which will bring us a better chance for some showers come late this weekend. 81 degrees right now. The dew point, as I said, low, and the humidity very dry, 39%. We have a north wind at 13. and the pressure 30.02 inches. A very fast-moving storm system will bring more snow to the Great Lakes. Details on that at 5. See you then.
In 1973, the Supreme Court established that women have the right to decide whether or not to terminate a pregnancy. The case was filed in Texas by Jane Roe. And now the story behind the woman who changed the law for generations is on stage at the Oslo Rep in a play entitled Roe. Actress Terry Wiegand is here to tell us about this very provocative and yet humorous show.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine something humorous about abortion.
Yeah, well,
how does that work?
That's the easiest way for me to receive information, especially hard-hitting information, is have a few laughs in there. And the writer, Lisa Loomer, she actually wrote on designing women.
Oh my!
In the 80s and 90s.
And that's like, that's quick
Yeah.
and buttoned up,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
And always
absolutely.
delivered a message, too.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's a big message in this one, too.
Now, the woman that you're playing
Yeah.
was not really named Roe. That was her alias. Tell us about the real woman, Norma McCorvey.
Norma McCorvey, she was born and raised in Dallas, and she had a really kind of hard luck life. She wasn't given many opportunities from the beginning of her life on. And she actually had 3 children. She had 2 children and then was seeking an abortion when she was pregnant with her 3rd child. And that's where Sarah Weddington and Linda Coffey found her, was at a lawyer's office asking for help with this one. And at the time it wasn't legal. So
I remember those days well. Yes. So her lawyer was a very different character.
Absolutely. Sarah Weddington was raised in an affluent family and had all of the wonderful luxuries that Norma was not afforded. And she was one of 40 women in a class of 1,600 students coming out, getting her law degree. And this was her first contested case.
Oh, really?
For the Supreme Court.
Oh, my.
Wow, what a big case.
Yeah.
Now, it's about the case, but it also covers 5 decades in the lives of these women.
Yeah, because Norma stayed anonymous until the 80s. So her story didn't come out until like mid-80s, and then there was a TV movie made about her starring Holly Hunter. But Norma, I don't know how much I can talk about it, but Norma, she changed paths in the middle. And
I remember that.
She had a conversion, and then she was very pro-choice, and then she became very staunchly pro-life towards the end of her life.
So you play a woman changing over 50 years.
Yeah, yeah.
You age 50 years.
I do.
Oh,
I try to.
wow.
Every night.
Every night.
That's happened to me too, but I'd like to see you do it on stage.
Well, the costume designer and the wig designer, they're amazing. And actually some of the costume changes we do are in real time on stage. So we age 10 years within 3 minutes.
And does your character age at the same time?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how do you play an older woman?
Oh,
What's different about us?
the costume helps a lot.
I knew it's a costume. I knew that. Well, does it cover both sides? Because the abortion debate is still going on.
Absolutely, and it's one of the most divisive issues in American politics, even now. But Lisa Loomer, she's such a wonderful playwright, and one of the things she said from the very beginning was that she wanted every person that sees the show, no matter what their political view on it is, to be able to honestly see themselves reflected in the play at some point. So we hope that, and it fosters empathy too.
Right.
I think that I've learned, everybody has their own view on it, but if you learn about people from the other side, it sometimes opens you up to other possibilities, and everybody.
Just compassion.
And
Exactly.
we don't do that anymore. We don't hear both sides because it's so easy to go online and find your side, to hear what everybody has to support you, that we don't listen to the other side. So this, you've got a captive audience. You've got to sit there and listen to what the other people think about this issue.
Exactly, and I think it's just fostering a really great conversation too.
Yes.
But even your audience is really diverse.
The audience, the reaction is so interesting. That was the kind of last character piece that we needed during the show, because they're very vocal.
Really?
Where does the humor come in? How do we make this humorous? Because, it seems so serious, obviously.
Well, everybody's got, things that make them laugh, and people all riff off of each other. It's a really human story.
And Norma was kind of out there originally, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, she brought a lot of personality as a young woman.
And she lived a hard life. She was a drug dealer, out lesbian in the early 70s. But hilarious.
Wow, playing her, you got to be a lot of different people.
And I have a lot of love for this character.
Well,
too.
even outside of the main abortion issue, there is always that from what you're saying, the idea that they're from different classes, from different places, and whenever you put those two types of characters together, there's all these situations happen.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Where do you think the courage came from for a very young lawyer to want to pursue this case?
You know, I think that there were a lot of people championing her and asking her. I don't know if it was necessarily her first choice of case to take on at the beginning, but she realized that it was something that was desperately needed at the time, and she became the one to be the voice for it.
Because she had to have a lot of courage.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
And she is still fighting for it even now.
Oh, wow. 50 years later. Well, this is going to be great to see. Roe is at the Oslo Repertory Theater through April 15th. For tickets and for information, you can visit oslorep.org. Next, this week's hottest Hollywood headlines.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Give kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Rugs as Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
20 years ago, the moviegoers of Sarasota looked up at the silver screen and wanted something more. And they got exactly what they wanted. 20 years of some of the best independent films from around the world. The most iconic Hollywood stars walking the red carpet. The most glamorous parties in Southwest Florida. 20 years building up to the most exciting announcement in, well, 20 years. At the Sarasota Film Festival, April 13th to the 22nd.
I'll be right back.
Looking for something fun to do on a Friday night? Then come to Music on Main, the first Friday of every month at Lakewood Ranch. Enjoy free live music, dancing, great food, and lots of fun for every family member, even the furry ones. Meet up with friends, enjoy activities for the kids, or make it a special date night. And be sure to stop by the ABC7 booth and say hello. Mark your calendars for Music on Main, first Friday of the month, 6 to 9 at Lakewood Ranch. Brought to you by ABC7 and these sponsors.
There's always something new happening in Hollywood, so we'll ask Joey what's up in entertainment news. What's up, Joey's back.
Yeah, so even when I'm not here, I still always have an ear to the ground for stage, screen, TV. So there's a couple projects coming, and I thought, I love our network, but not everything is on our networks. There are a couple things. There's an Elvis documentary that HBO is releasing this month, and it is a 2-night presentation. It'll be about 3 hours. Graceland has opened up their vaults for this project, and so all of their audio and visual archives from Elvis's estate are now part of this project, including there's some old footage of Elvis, of his mother singing gospel.
Really?
So it really starts from his childhood and takes him all the way through. The filmmakers said they want to focus as much on the second half of his career, which a lot of times gets kind of laughed at, and actually show the seriousness of it. So Priscilla Presley is very much involved, and Elvis's longtime friend, Jerry Schilling. So it's going to have all this information that we haven't seen before. And interesting, when they made the film, they did not use a camera for any of the interviews. So all of the interviews were done with audio. So it's all footage. It's actual footage of Elvis that it's going to tell the story. And Priscilla Presley has said in some interviews before this has been released that it was very difficult to watch the end of his life because she's reliving it.
Right.
She talks about hiding pills from him.
I was going to say, and it wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking.
So this will premiere on HBO April 14th at 8 p.m. So it's
very soon.
2 films, 3 hours. Yeah.
Okay.
So a little happier, but another celebration of an artist that is gone is Donna Summer. So all right, you know that the big trend was take someone's music and turn it into a Broadway musical. So they have done Summer, the Donna Summer musical. It started previews last week in New York, and it is opening on Broadway April 23rd. They did this show at the La Jolla Playhouse, and so it's already been, had tryouts out of town. It'll follow Donna's life, and they have 3 different actresses playing her. So there's Disco Donna, Diva Donna, and Duck Donna.
Wow.
It's 3 actresses to take her. Interesting choice, predominantly female cast, even playing the male figures in her life.
Really?
And they said they wanted to kind of stick with Donna Summer's theme of female empowerment. So it's all of the great music that you loved, Love to Love You Baby, Hot Stuff, Bad Girls, kind of telling her story. It's a memory piece.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it could go the Mamma Mia route where everyone's going to love it and it's feel good music, or it could go, there were some of these jukebox musicals didn't do so well.
Right.
So fingers crossed that this is going to be a hit. So the next one, Linda, I thought of you, Diane Cannon, the famous blonde actress.
Everybody says that.
Yes. Well, she wrote a book a few years ago about her relationship with Cary Grant. They were married for about 3 years in the 60s, and he was 61 and she was 27.
That's why I thought of you.
But so the book has already been out, and it talks a lot about when they actually did LSD together.
Oh, how lovely.
They tell stories about this. So she has turned her life, this book, into a musical. So I'm a little hesitant, but she says that it is all completed except for one song. She's planning on being in it, and she's got her sights set on Broadway. So I don't know quite how it'll work, but she does say obviously Cary Grant is going to factor very, very largely in the project.
Okay, if that was him at 61 and her at 27, I'd have married him too.
I think no, I think those pictures were filed from.
I was going to say, I don't know if that was 61,
no,
but
no, because he.
Wow.
Yes, but interesting choice. Married for 3 years, but
do we like a Broadway about everybody? I don't know.
I know.
It's
and she did suffer a nervous breakdown in her life and was very public about it. So I don't know if that will factor into a musical. It may stay better as a book.
Yeah, but you know what Linda's always saying, why do we keep reviving? We need new ones. So there's a lot of new coming out.
And I think there's a lot of interest in Cary Grant's life. I mean, there were rumors about his bisexuality and the pressure of being a star. So we'll see how that works into a big Broadway musical. And lastly, if you have not watched Handmaid's Tale on Hulu, which
just started it.
Okay, so the 2nd season's about to come out. They will release it on Hulu April 25th.
Give me a synopsis, because you've said we have to see it so many times. So
it is set in a future where women's rights have been completely stripped from them. Yes, ma'am. And they have now been made to suffer as servants in silence in the homes of master families.
Ew.
So, and I don't want to do any more spoilers, but you have time to catch up. A lot of the same cast is going to return, but in the 2nd season, it's going to be 13 episodes instead of 10. Bradley Whitford, who was on West Wing and Get Out, Cherry Jones, Marissa Tomei, they're all joining this cast. So you have time to binge this.
A lot of talk on this.
You need to binge this.
I can't say enough about it. Great, great show. Yeah.
All right, we're binge watching Handmaid's Tale this weekend. All right, thanks for the update. Lots of good info. And coming up next, fashion from all over the world with Red Hot Paris.
I heard about the Dettoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dettoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dettoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
I used to dread getting up and going to work.
I was done with the corporate grind.
I was tired of being a starving artist.
And I started looking around for a business that I believed in, and I kind of wanted to do something a little more green.
My SCORE mentor helped me take the first step.
He helped me create a business plan and helped me implement it.
They've really taught me how to think big.
SCORE helped me to make the unimaginable possible, all for free. I'm here because of SCORE.
I'm here because of SCORE.
Get your free business mentor at score.org.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? Well, now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Don't allow your weight to threaten your health or control your future. Excess weight or obesity can cause emotional and physical health risks. But you can take control. The Your Weight Matters campaign offers free resources and tips to help you measure and understand your weight. Take the Your Weight Matters Challenge. The free toolkit prepares you to speak with a healthcare provider about your weight. Your weight does matter. Take the challenge and take control today.
We are problem solvers striving for answers. Relevancy on every platform. We are driven to create content that's compelling, engaging, where it matters. We are neighbors that care about solutions, believers in making a difference, leaders, innovating in an exciting era of multimedia, reaching to always be the gold standard in our evolving landscape. We are Raycom Media. Find your opportunity today.
Welcome back to Suncoast View. We're going to check back in with Chef Gerard from the Seafood Shack. And Chef, I understand you are part of a great event coming up in St. Petersburg, the Longest Table. Tell us what Seafood Shack will be preparing.
So we've got 4 courses. Our first course will be a seafood sampler, so there's like a 6-sea ceviche. Then for the second course, which is actually part of the dish that we're doing today, will be pickled abalone and Florida lobster tail. And then we've got for the third course a bayou boil. So we'll have multiple seafood boiling away, and then we've got, for the final course, a breadfruit and coconut pie.
Oh my goodness, and the event looks absolutely stunning. This is the 5th year for the Longest Table. It is on Bayshore in St. Pete, and literally it stretches right up and down the street from the Vinoy down to the museum. It is coming up April 12th, and tickets are going fast. There are only a few left, and this event does sell out, so you don't want to miss an amazing, amazing time in St. Petersburg, April 12th. For tickets and information and to experience 1,500 gourmet restaurants at a 300-foot table, you will want to go to WUSF.org, and we're proud to have that support WUSF Public Media. We'll join you in the kitchen in a little bit. Joey?
Well, there are a lot of people on the Suncoast who lead exciting lives, but few are quite as exotic as Sarasota native and fashion influencer Ashley Hudson. She lives in both Sarasota and Paris and travels the world with her lifestyle series, Red Hot Paris. And she is here today to reveal our inner glam. Thank you. Well, I think I need
welcome.
you.
Yes. I mean, everybody should be experiencing that, right?
Yes, I love it. So your life sounds fascinating. Tell us a little bit about your series, the Red Hot Paris.
So it's all about following around the crazy adventures that I have in living in Paris part-time and also living in Sarasota back and forth, and all the fun, exciting adventures, going to fashion shows, being part of like the fashion scene in Paris, and then coming back here, settling down, starting over, and it's really exciting. It's fun. I mean, we go crazy, obviously, and I don't know that the Parisians know what to do with us 90% of the time, but I think they think it's fun. It's good. It's
this
different.
is a great time of year. I know a lot of people on the Suncoast are looking, you know, the gala season continues, social season continues, and people are looking for different fashion looks. What is your approach to fashion, being in both places, bringing a little of the Parisian influence?
You know, I think it's always, for me, I always come back to what it makes you feel good. You know, what makes you feel confident? Because in the end, when you step out, you can have the most amazing gown on, you can look fabulous, trendy, all of that. But if you're uncomfortable in it, it shows. It's all over you. So like finding something that speaks to you when you see it, when it feels good, grab it. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It's what makes you feel
I love
Fantastic.
this because it breaks us free from some rules. So you brought some great examples of some of the styles that we can look forward to, and you're starting with our guest host, Nikki Logan Curran. So let's take a look at some of these looks. Nikki, I love this. Tell us about this look.
So I'm loving this whole trend that's been happening for about a year, and it's really picking up now, of the menswear inspired kind of sexy. I woke up like this, my husband's shirt, you know, like, yes, the Bessie bun. You killed that, by the way, Nikki. It looks awesome.
It has that look of when someone puts on, you know, I mean, we've seen this, it's a very, very sexy look where a woman puts on a man's shirt, but it's tailored.
It's built for a woman, too.
And I'm all about like sexy in the classiest way possible, because you know it's a very fine line when you go over too far, and then it's, but you look so clean and crisp, and she looks amazing.
Yes,
right?
Nikki, you look fabulous.
Right, the men's
Thank
look,
you.
we love it.
Just like they show
All right,
you,
let's
just
take a look.
accidentally show it.
Yes, it's all purposely. All right, talk about this great look. I love these sleeves.
So, and you know, it's all about the personality, right? So here's Natalie, and she's a very boho chic girl. You know, she has kids. She wants everything comfortable, and the cape, I was like, you know what, it's going to be fine. Don't worry, it'll drag behind you. But you know, the accent pieces, like the big sleeves, the cape, you need to find that one part of an outfit that makes you feel exciting, memorable. You know, like
that looks queenly.
Right, so
That's
regal.
beautiful,
right?
very royal.
That is gorgeous. And thank you, Natalie. I would just want to
With
see
the palazzo
I want to see
pants
it.
and
Wow.
like, yes.
Beautiful. All right,
You're not
let's-
going to forget that, right?
No, not at all. This is for the woman who wants to make a statement.
Or you won't
Great
forget this
pants.
either.
I know.
Oh, the pants are amazing.
Talk about
They
these
are.
pants. They're amazing.
So it's actually it's a set. The cape and the pant is both
Oh.
Balmain, and I like to separate stuff like that. I'll
Yes.
buy the pieces so I can mix and match. I think that's important to know too about your wardrobe, is that find pieces that for seasons that are same color combos that you can kind of, you know, they'll stay in your closet, but then also you can mix and match them, so you're
And
getting
people
more
don't say, "Oh,
for
I
your
saw
money."
that last
Right?
week." Yes.
Exactly.
And like the bow in the previous outfit, and then the belt. A lot of focus
all
on a
about
statement.
cinching, right? So, and then for me, when I talk to someone about styling, I'm like, what do you love about your body? Like, what do you want to accentuate, and what do you want to hide?
Natalie, that's
You
fabulous.
know, and
Love the
waists
pants.
here are amazing. So.
This is
this is
perfect for
beautiful.
so many
Yes.
events
Elegant.
here on the Suncoast. Talk about this dress.
So honestly, for me, this is like her going out cocktails with her husband, going to an event, and then again, it's about those parts of the outfit that stand out, those accent pieces. You've got the big bell sleeves, and that's going to last forever. You know, and
Yes.
it's timeless, right?
You could be the chair of a gala. You could be going
Yes.
out to an amazing dinner. This
Yes.
is a great outfit. Can we just move the sleeves a little bit? We just want to see them.
And
There
yeah,
we go.
the contrasting white on the inside. I mean, you know,
Show
it's
us the inside a little bit.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
see
show
that.
the
That's so
camera.
cute.
Show the camera. Yeah.
And the dress is so
Fun.
powerful, but you also could go have a large piece of jewelry if you wanted or
Yes.
not. It doesn't even
a
need.
new take on the little black dress.
Thank you.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Loving it.
All right, and this next model, let's see.
Yes.
I think we know this
Someone
model.
you kind of know this woman. So this is my mother, and I think
my.
it's important to remember that, and she taught me this, so she knows already, is that to me, all white is always a good idea. Off-white, winter white, cream, all the time, because when you walk into a room, people remember that all white, you know, and then mix it in with, throw in your neutrals on top of it, you know, and lace. I mean, lace is everything right now for spring, summer.
Yes.
So, yeah, I love
This
it.
could take us through the summer on the Suncoast as
Oh,
well,
that's
because
lovely.
it doesn't have sleeves.
Yeah,
so you
and then
could-
Mom, pop it off really quick.
There we go. Thanks, Mom.
Oh, how
Right?
So
cute.
cute.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a completely different look, different opportunity.
100%.
We want to bring all of our models
Yes.
back, and we want to let you know that you can see more of Ashley's fashion and follow her adventures on her website, redhotparis.com. Thank you, Ashley, and thank you to all of our
Awesome. Thank
fabulous
you so
Oh,
much.
how
models.
cute they are.
Yes.
Coming up
They
next,
look
we're going to
great.
learn more about type 1 diabetes and some of the advancements happening in technology.
Hold it.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC7 News app.
Every week on Animal Outtakes, it's a new animal adventure. We're heading to a facility whose main goal is to eliminate some of the most deadliest animals in the world. And it's called the Shark's Tooth Capital of the World. But that's not all you'll find in the water here. We're on the hunt for some prehistoric treasures.
You get the stingray barbs, the stingray palate teeth.
Join us this week on ABC7.
This is an ABC7 News Update.
Good afternoon, I'm Scott Dennis. Here's what's coming up at 5 o'clock. Distracted driving, a problem on the rise here on the Suncoast. We'll show you a simple way you can test your reflexes before you hit the road. And how Manatee County is getting funding to update its public buses, trolleys, and more. Let's get a check on the weather again with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Scott, some disruptive weather headed our way over the weekend. We're going to talk about that coming up at 5 and 6 o'clock tonight. Also, the cold front that moved through this morning did bring a little bit of a chill and a bit of a breeze this morning. Felt quite comfortable with those lower humidities around. That front now well down to our south near Coral Springs. Some pretty big storms northwest of Miami now and down near Key Largo. Some heavier showers. That's where the front is now. There's another cold front due to arrive. Looks like late Saturday and into early Sunday. And on top of that, a snowstorm continues to develop over parts of the northern plains. More on the national weather and our local weather coming up at 5. See you then.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Wild Broadway series brings you Funny Girl. Fanny Bryce dreams of being famous and through sheer guts and determination becomes a star of the Ziegfeld Follies. Playing March 28th through April 15th, it's the songs and story that generations have grown to love. Call the Players Center at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. Don't rain on my parade. Come see Funny Girl.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
I'm hearing more and more people say the level of violence on video games is really shaping young people's thoughts.
We've had this discussion at least for maybe 20, 30 years now.
Violence is all around us in music, movies, and video games, but do they have an impact on molding our kids' minds? I'm Alan Cohn. We'll have that story. Let's take it to the trapezoid.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Type 1 diabetes, formerly known as juvenile diabetes, affects 1.25 million Americans, both kids and adults. There is no cure, but thanks to research and development, there is hope. Emma Rudd has T1D and is here with her mom, Tricia, to tell us about some new advances. Welcome back, Emma.
Hello, and thank you for having me.
Good to see you again. We first met you last year on our show, so remind us again how old you are.
I'm 16 years old.
Okay, and then remind us about your story with T1D. How old were you when you were diagnosed, and how is this a factor in your everyday life?
So I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at the age of 5, and I'm 16 now, so I've had it for over a decade, and firsthand I've been able to see the technology changing, and but dealing with type 1 diabetes every day is a handful. I have to test my blood sugar, I have to monitor it 24/7 with my sensors that I wear on my arms, but it is a big deal. I play soccer for high school and for club, and going through that, going through stress of everyday school and life in general, it's very hard for me to deal with.
It's not something that ever goes away, I assume.
No.
You can't ever stop thinking about it.
Is it getting easier?
It is. I mean, with research dollars going forth, I am on the artificial pancreas now, and it is an amazing technology. It monitors my blood sugar and keeps it in range, where before I had to do that all by myself.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
So Tricia, I know you told us last year that you were hopeful that this artificial pancreas would get FDA approved and then be something you could work with Emma. How is it working? Maybe give everybody a quick little explainer what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So the artificial pancreas was approved by the FDA last spring, and Emma was one of the first ones to be on it in the state of Florida. She started in August. Maybe you can hold it up.
Yeah.
And so, but basically what it is a closed loop pump that communicates with the sensors on this sensor here on her arm.
Okay.
So the two communicate together, create a personalized algorithm that gives her insulin as she needs it to try to keep her blood sugar in range.
Does that mean you're not having to stop and check your levels throughout the day?
I still am, but this does more of the work. Like throughout the night, I can sleep and not have to wake up and check. Oh yeah. my gosh. So I sleep soundly now, which helps, me focus better in school. I'm doing a lot better in school now, and soccer. It's amazing. It's really changed my life.
So prior, you had to wake up every night and
2 or 3
check.
times a night. Yes.
Unbelievable.
Wow, I bet a lot of people don't know that. So
Right.
is that true of everyone with type 1 diabetes? You have to wake up during the night to check because it can change that quickly?
Yeah, so many things affect a person's blood glucose levels. Activity especially causes lows in the middle of the night. So nighttime isn't a time where we can just relax and think that our blood sugar is okay. So she would often go low in the middle of the night and need some juice to get her blood sugar up to a safe level. So
is this giving you insulin? Is it pumping something in?
Yes, yes.
I see.
So it creates personalized algorithms. The longer she wears it, the better it gets to know her, and then keeps her blood sugar in range easier than it did before. It's still certainly not perfect. It's not a cure. She has 3 devices on her body, you know, that and it's still a machine that obviously things can happen, but
it's got to be a little bit of relief.
Much better.
Yeah, a little bit of relief.
One step closer.
So you have gone through things in these 11 years that I would assume most teenagers can't even understand. Being a teenager is hard enough, so you certainly have a lot on your plate. Tell us what you have done to kind of raise awareness by talking to kids and things like that about what this is like.
Yeah, so just recently I went and talked to my person at my Riverview High School and talked to them a little bit about what I do as a type 1 diabetic, a 16-year-old living with this disease. Just a couple weeks ago, I went and advocated with my mom on Capitol Hill, talking to congressmen and talking to them about the importance of type 1 funding and why we need this and how it affects me every day. So
what was their reaction? Could you look at their eyes and see they were hearing you?
Yeah, so actually the special diabetes program was just renewed, so it was $150 million towards type 1 research. So this time actually we were thanking them so much for, you know, contributing to this disease. So
well, let's talk about the research. I mean, the fact that you are working with a new device that is obviously not changing the situation, but making it better. Help people understand there is no cure, therefore why research dollars are so important.
Yeah, so, you know, in the 11 years that Emma Bella's had diabetes, when she was first diagnosed at 5, we didn't even have sensors, you know, so we weren't able to see what her blood sugar was unless we manually pricked her finger, which we would do, you know.
5-year-old.
We would do it 10, 12 times a day, you know, and now to have the sensors where she calibrates the sensors a couple times a day, we actually see those results on our smartphones. They send us alerts as her parents to tell us if she's going low or high. So, you know, it's just made a remarkable difference in the quality of life for all of us.
I bet.
So, and there's so much going on in research right now. I mean, we're hopeful that there will be a cure in her lifetime and well before, so.
Good. Well, and research costs a lot of money, as we well know, so fundraising becomes so crucial. And Emma Bella, you're doing such a great job being a voice for type 1 diabetes. JDRF's One Walk is a huge and important fundraiser. It is coming up Saturday, April 7th. It is right here in Sarasota at Nathan Benderson Park. Go to their website. There's registration and information. And as you can see, there's a lot of people involved, and it's a lot of fun for a very important cause. Coming up next, where you can see the latest in tiny houses. Stay with us.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
Growing up, my mom was afraid of the water, something she did not want me to feel.
So I enrolled Missy in swim lessons.
It changed my life.
Missy Franklin.
And now you can do the same for someone that you love.
There's nothing more precious than your child's well-being.
So act now, before it's too late.
Make us fly! I'm glad I did.
Thanks, Mom. Visit usaswimmingfoundation.org to find, get, or give a swim lesson.
One of the motivating factors for me to become a Big Brother was that I was mentored as a youth. And it was important for me to kind of pass forward the things that were kind of given to me. It's really just as simple as getting to know a kid. You don't have to be an athlete, you don't have to be rich, you don't have to have any of those other things. You just have to be willing to spend a little time and help mold some young person's life.
Once you get atrial fibrillation, you need to have a very close relationship with your primary doctor. Prevention is the whole ballgame here, because once you have a stroke, you can't undo it. A year without stroke is a year that you can enjoy doing the things that you've worked all your life to finally get to do. You took care of yourself. You did what is necessary for you to be around one more year. And then next year, we'll celebrate one more year without a stroke.
All right, crew, let's get started. All right.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
All right, you've heard about the trend of everything downsizing. Tiny homes are huge, and this trend has been kind of sweeping the entire country. And you'll have a chance to check it out this weekend, April 7th and 8th in St. Petersburg at St. Petersburg College. It's the Tiny Home Festival. If you have any curiosity about tiny homes, this is the place to go. And you can find out more information by going to St. Petersburg College this weekend. We are going to find out more information about the kitchen. We're heading into the kitchen with the Seafood Shack.
Download the all-new ABC 7 First Alert Weather app now.
I'm Deshauna Barber. In 2016, I was proud to win the title of Miss USA. What makes me just as proud is my service in the U.S. military. In the service, a soldier gains skills and learns values like discipline and leadership. That makes them an asset to any business that hires them. If you're an employer, on behalf of Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, remember to hire smart and bet on a vet. Visit saluteheroes.org or call this number to learn more.
This is an ABC 7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Here's what we're working on for 5 o'clock. Governor Rick Scott signs a bill that would try to reduce the number of invasive species that cause damages to the state's ecosystem. A look at some of the animals included in that bill. And taking a quick look at First Alert traffic, right now the Ringling Bridge is backed up heading into downtown Sarasota from Lido Key. However, traffic heading into St. Armands is looking clear. Now let's get a check on our First Alert weather forecast with Bob.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with your First Alert weather update here. Colorado State University, Dr. Philip Klotzblatt has come up with his prediction today for the upcoming 2018 hurricane season, predicting 14 named storms, 7 hurricanes, and 3 major. Those are all slightly above average as far as that goes. And we have a slightly above average, too, as far as Florida getting hit this particular season. So we'll update that at 5. 81 right now. We have clear skies, and the dew point temperature has dropped. More at 5.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
I just need a second.
Is your weight holding you back and affecting your health?
Did you see this? Your cousin had a heart attack.
Really?
Excess weight or obesity can be serious, but you can do something about it. Visit yourweightmatters.org. Download the free toolkit to prepare you to speak with a healthcare provider. Your weight does matter. Accept the challenge and take charge today. Visit yourweightmatters.org.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No?
Why not? What's up? Kath and I knew that Jenny'd been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 78.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Coming up Friday at 4 on Suncoast Views, spring is in the air, but is your green thumb ready? Troy's Tropics help us get our gardens in shape with some plant suggestions. All right, every family's a little bit weird, and we're celebrating them all with Manatee Player's newest show, 2.5-minute Ride. Plus this weekend's McCurdy's comedy headliner and Sharky's on the Pier joins us in the kitchen.
Welcome back. We are in the kitchen with Gerard Jesse from Seafood Shack, which is one of my new favorite places to go to by boat, and I appreciate everything that you do.
Fun.
So you're talking about the longest table today, and what are we making?
Correct. So actually, this is our second course. So we are doing a pickled lobster tail and abalone for the longest table. In this particular case, we've just done something a little bit more local, other than the abalone. We've got local shrimp, oysters, local Joe Island clams, and then the red abalone from California.
Wow. That's great. And you've gave us something beautiful to sip on. Tell us about the cocktail.
Yes, those are kitty cocktails, right?
They are. They are.
No, that is our Shack Rum Punch, one of our signature
Shack
cocktails.
Rum Punch. All right. Sounds lovely.
It's delicious.
All right, but Linda, you got work to do. You're not allowed to have your cocktail just yet.
I'll babysit your cocktail.
All right, let's get started. Tell us what we're doing.
Okay, so first thing what we're going to do is we're going to start the pickling liquid. So we've got our hot pan here. We're going to
wow.
And you might get kind of gassed out a little bit.
That's okay.
That's okay. Works that.
Add a little bit of your pickling spices.
All right, it does smell like pickles.
Your fish sauce, which is key because
fish sauce.
Fish sauce, you're correct. It helps with the umami, so it really makes it taste really flavorful.
Sugar.
Sugar. Then you've got green onion. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then a little bit of garlic, just enough to be aromatic. And then we have our mirin. Now this is almost like a sweetened vinegar. So
You knew I didn't know what you were
wine.
talking about.
So, all right, so now we're getting everything hot. We're adding our onions, and then once we bring it to a boil, what we're going to do is basically pour it right over our seafood. But in this case, I do need your help, Linda.
I'll be glad to
right.
help you. I've got a knife and a mallet, so whichever you need.
I'm always next to you with large weapons, Linda.
So over here we have the abalone. This is actually what the abalone looks like prior, and then this is what it looks like when it's clean. So what we're going to do here is it's tough as nails.
Make this one look like that one.
Yeah, exactly. So what you're going to do is take the side of the mallet.
Oh, the side.
Yes, ma'am. You're going to flatten it, and you're going to.
Don't hold your fingers there.
Okay.
Miss.
There we go.
It's
perfect.
Closer to the heat.
So this is how you tenderize an abalone?
Right. So that's perfect. So what it's doing right now, yeah, that's it. So what happens is it stretches, it tightens up, and then it loosens and tightens and loosens. And at one point, it can't tighten anymore. You're stopping rigor mortis. Rigor mortis.
Rigor mortis. Okay.
Rigor mortis. Oh well.
Correct.
I'm glad I stopped rigor mortis before it was too late.
So if you like, I've already got some available. Taste some right here.
Okay. So this comes to a boil, and then
correct.
the seafood goes in.
Correct. Put your seafood in the jar and then pour it over top. And then you
so
let
it's like a quick cook.
Exactly. And then it sits, and then you let it best to sit overnight, and then that's it.
Sealing important to seal the.
Yeah, you just never want to seal it when it's hot. Obviously, just let it cool down room temp first, and then bring it into the cooler.
So it's kind of like a ceviche concept, but it kind of is cooked.
Correct.
It's just a quick cook.
Because of the hot.
Linda, it's cooked. Because Linda, for Linda's purpose, it's cooked. Linda doesn't like raw seafood.
She's got to give some
curry.
Get some curry. All right. Well, this is nothing we've ever tried before. So
perfect. Absolutely.
Sample. All right,
yep.
Joey.
Great.
So once you put it,
the shells that are in the front, the abalone shells, because they're beautiful. I thought they were dishes that you purchased.
She needs one.
Yep. Pass that down. And what, Linda, we want to watch you try.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
great.
these shells are actually naturally like this. There's
They're
nothing
beautiful.
done to them like that.
So once you start, you've got to eat the whole thing?
Absolutely.
So do you
Take
do
a
this
shot.
all at once?
Yes.
Okay, all at once.
Okay,
Ready?
if nothing happens to Stephanie, I'll try.
So what you're going to see is
Are
a
you
lot
smiling?
of umami, and it brings out the natural sea.
There's something like rich and
Mine's
creamy
good.
involved. Which seafood is rich and creamy?
So you've got the oyster in there, the local Gulf oysters that make that creamy.
The flavors are absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
That's delicious.
That is delicious. How long will that last in the refrigerator?
Theoretically, definitely if it gets covered, but at the same time, it's going to get tougher.
Linda, the verdict? You just ate seafood.
I like it very, very
This
much.
is just one of the courses.
This is, and this
Absolutely.
is all part of the longest table on April 12th in downtown St. Petersburg, right there on Bayshore. A gorgeous event, 15 gourmet restaurants, including Seafood Shack, and Chef Gerard just gave us a lovely seafood sampler that is part of it.
And all for a great cause.
Yep, with WUSF Media. All right, so thank you
Thank
for
you.
the lesson on pickling seafood and also the wonderful taste. Thank you for joining us. Nikki, a lot of fun. You're a model, you're a foodie, you're a wine girl.
I'm always up for whatever.
You got it all going on. All right, we do too. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day and take some time and enjoy the Suncoast view.